Hey everybody, I'm Ghost Boy, and I'm here to spread some Christmas joy. Today I'm talking about 5 of the most underrated animated Christmas specials. Everybody knows about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but in this video I'll be talking about some of the lesser known, underappreciated animated Christmas specials. Let's begin our Christmas list. A Garfield Christmas. Garfield, John, and Odie pack up the car and head off to the countryside to stay with John's family for Christmas. When I talked about the Garfield Thanksgiving special in one of my last videos, I mentioned how much I love all of the Garfield holiday specials because they are very simple stories about the characters just spending time together and just doing the normal traditional holiday stuff, and there isn't anything extremely crazy or complicated going on. And that's the same situation with this special. We just get to see Garfield and his family spending Christmas together, singing songs, eating dinner, decorating the tree, and opening presents. This Christmas special does have a couple very heartfelt moments. The grandma talks about how much she misses her husband who passed away, and it always makes me cry. Garfield is even surprisingly nice to everybody in this Christmas special as well. Besides the part where he says my all-time favorite Garfield quote,
"Whoever invented Christmas trees should be drug out into the street and shot."
This is a very relaxing, heartwarming, cozy Christmas special, and I watch it with my family every year.
Christmas. It's not the giving. It's not the getting. It's the loving.
Olive the Other Reindeer. A Christmas-loving dog named Olive hears on the radio that one of Santa's reindeer has been injured, so Santa will be unable to deliver his presents to everyone. Santa also says maybe he'll be able to make do with all of the other reindeer. But Olive is convinced Santa said Olive the Other Reindeer. Now she's determined to get to the North Pole to help pull Santa's sleigh and save Christmas. But there's trouble along the way. There's an evil Christmas-hating mailman who isn't happy that Olive is trying to save Christmas, and he will stop at nothing to make sure Christmas is ruined for everyone. This aired on Cartoon Network a lot when I was younger, and it was my absolute favorite Christmas special. I remember my mom bought it for me on DVD so I could watch it whenever I wanted. This special has one of the strangest art styles I've ever seen in animation ever. I remember every single time I would watch this special with anybody, they would say how weird the animation looked. I know it looks a little strange, but I don't care, and I've actually grown to really enjoy how unique it looks. And the art style really makes it stand out compared to all of the other animated Christmas specials. Drew Barrymore does the voice of Olive, and she does a great job. Olive is such a kind-hearted, lovable character. Almost everyone else in this movie is a jerk, but despite how negative everyone around her is, she never loses hope. She becomes friends with an adorable penguin named Martini. Get it? Olive? Martini? Olive Martini? But anyways, I was obsessed with penguins when I was a kid, so of course I loved the character Martini. And he is the funniest part of this movie. He sells counterfeit watches and office supplies that he stole from his last job after he was fired. Ed Asner plays Santa Claus in this, and he also played Santa Claus in Regular Show and the Elf movie, and several other times both in animation and live action. The songs in this special are addictive. They are short, sweet, and insanely catchy. I hadn't watched this special in a couple years, but recently I finally rewatched it, and I still knew every single lyric to every single song. It's also worth mentioning that this special is based off of a book by the same name. Anyways, never judge a book by its cover. This special may look a little different from what you usually see, but it's very heartfelt and has a message about believing in yourself, even if nobody else does. Also, Olive the Other Reindeer is way better than Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I said it, and I'm not taking it back, it's true. Holidays. The Christmas that almost didn't happen. This is a stop-motion Christmas special with a lot of adult humor. The story is about Rusty the Reindeer, the lesser-known younger brother of Rudolph, as he tries to find his place in Christmas. Everybody forgets about Rusty and leaves him out of everything since he doesn't have a special glowing nose like his brother, and he's kinda clumsy. Nobody thinks he's special, and even his own dad doesn't care about him as much as he cares about Rudolph. Rusty is sad and tired of feeling unwanted, so he leaves the North Pole and ends up in New York City, where he joins a support group for all of the other lesser-known, underappreciated holiday characters, like the Easter Bunny, Cupid, the Thanksgiving Turkey, and my personal favorites, the Ghosts of Halloween, twin sisters named Trick and Treat. This special has a lot of Disney Channel stars in the voice cast: Dylan Sprouse, Cole Sprouse, Brenda Song, and Emily Osment. I really don't know why this special isn't more popular. Maybe people got it confused with The Year Without a Santa Claus since the names are kinda similar, or maybe parents didn't want their kids to watch this since it had some edgy comedy. I guess it doesn't matter either way. I just wish more people talked about this special. You can really tell a lot of work was put into this. All of the people who worked on this movie were really trying to make a new Christmas special and tell a unique story that hadn't been done before. This movie is pretty hard to find, but it's definitely worth tracking down and watching, especially if you're a big fan of all of the other stop-motion Christmas specials. And you know what? Rusty the Reindeer is better than Rudolph too. I said it again, and I'm not gonna take it back. Rudolph sucks. Arthur's Perfect Christmas. And no, I'm not talking about that animated movie called Arthur Christmas. I hate when that happens. Whenever I talk about this movie, everybody thinks I'm talking about that movie, and it gets so confusing. Arthur is very excited for Christmas, and wants to make sure everything is perfect. But things seem to keep going wrong, and Arthur finds out having a perfect Christmas isn't going to be as easy as he thought it would be. I think this special's a lot like the classic Christmas movie, A Christmas Story, but instead of the main character struggling to make sure he gets the gift he wants for Christmas, he just struggles to make sure his family and himself have a great Christmas. He wants to have a white Christmas, but it hasn't snowed yet, and then he thinks it's finally about to start snowing, and it starts pouring down rain. He wants to have the normal, traditional Christmas dinner, but his dad decides to try something new and make food that they ate back in biblical times. He waits in line for hours at the mall to get his mom something special for Christmas, but then the present ends up getting destroyed. But in the end, even though everything didn't happen the way he thought it would, or the way he wanted it to be, he still ends up having a pretty great Christmas. Something else I really love about this special is that it's not just a Christmas special, because we get to see the other characters celebrating Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, and it actually teaches you how and why people celebrate those holidays, and I thought that was really cool. Arthur's best friend, Buster, doesn't really like Christmas that much, because ever since his parents got divorced, his mom kinda goes a little crazy around Christmas, trying to make sure everything is perfect, but she just ends up worrying way too much, and Buster doesn't think Christmas needs to be such a big deal. He thinks Christmas should just be a day where you can relax and do whatever you want. I always related to Buster because my parents are divorced and my mom always worries way too much about trying to make Christmas perfect. But I think the lesson to learn in this special is, no matter what holiday you celebrate, you shouldn't worry about trying to make it perfect. As long as you're with family or friends, then the rest will come about effortlessly, and it will be perfect without you even trying. And now, the #1 underrated, underappreciated animated Christmas special is The Legend of Frosty the Snowman. Now, I've never actually been the biggest fan of the original Frosty the Snowman. I just never found it very entertaining. The story is very short and simple. The magic hat of an evil magician brings a snowman to life, and now he has to get to the North Pole before he melts. And I have no problem with stories being simple. Like I said, all of the Garfield holiday specials are very simple stories, and they are some of my favorite holiday specials ever. But I don't know, the original Frosty the Snowman special just feels very bland to me. None of the characters are very unique or memorable besides Frosty, and not much of anything really happens. Also, I never liked how dark the story gets. When one of the kids is trying to help Frosty get to the North Pole, they start shivering and basically freezing to death because of how cold they are. Even as a kid, that made me feel sad and uncomfortable. But The Legend of Frosty the Snowman fixed my biggest problems with the original, because it has an actual entertaining storyline and fun, memorable characters. In this special, Frosty the Snowman is voiced by the guy who does the voice of Patrick Star in SpongeBob, and I think he does a great job. He's perfect at being the big, fun, dumb, lovable, kind-hearted snowman that we all know and love. Now let's talk about the story. The legend of Frosty the Snowman is about an uptight town with parents who don't believe in magic and children who must always follow the rules and do everything properly. This story is actually very similar to the musical Footloose. All of the parents in town are very strict, and Frosty the Snowman basically teaches all of the kids that it's okay to have fun and break the rules sometimes. This is also kind of a sequel to the original Frosty the Snowman. The mayor of the town and dad of one of the main characters is one of the kids who made Frosty the Snowman in the original special, and his father is actually the evil magician from the original. I have so many great memories with this special. One of my favorite childhood memories that I always remember. One winter when I was a kid, shortly after we had to put my grandfather in a nursing home, my aunts and uncles came over to go through his room and all of his stuff. My sister and I didn't want to be involved and didn't really have anything to do, so she made us macaroni and cheese. We laid in bed all day while it was snowing, and we watched The Legend of Frosty the Snowman. I swear there's so many memorable lines from this movie that my sister and I randomly quote even now as adults. If you're a fan of Frosty the Snowman, then you definitely need to watch this movie. And even if you're like me and you were never really a big fan of the original Frosty the Snowman, I think you'll still really love this. Just make sure you watch the full movie, because sometimes when this aired on TV, they cut it down to 40 minutes, but the full movie is an hour long. This is such a fun, humorous, heartfelt story, and I always end up crying at the end of it, because there's kind of a twist in the story, and it's so sweet and makes me emotional because it's just so heartwarming. Never stop believing in magic, and never lose touch with your inner child. Frosty the Snowman taught me that. Well, everybody, that's the end of my list. I hope you check out some of these very underrated, underappreciated holiday specials. Until next time, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Blessed Kwanzaa, and Happy Holidays.
It's Christmas Eve, and you better believe if you give, then you might just receive. I'm here to say, have a happy holiday, no matter which way you celebrate. I hope it's great, I can't wait. The light lit up the night for 8 days straight. Sitting around the table, spin the dreidel, light the candles. Hanukkah is the festival of lights. Kwanzaa is a festival of life and a celebration of the harvest. Candles light up the darkness. Be thankful, be grateful. Angels watch over us from above. Spend time with the ones you love. I'm here to say, have a happy holiday, no matter which way you celebrate. I hope it's great, I can't wait for Christmas Day. Santa Claus is almost on his way, he's getting in his sleigh. So be nice and don't be naughty, and have a holly jolly holiday. Spread some cheer, it's almost a new year. Celebrate peace on earth and Jesus' birth. I'm so thankful for my family and everyone who's been there for me. And even if you don't get everything on your wish list, I still hope you have a Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Blessed Kwanzaa. And appreciate everyone sitting beside ya. Happy holidays, happy holidays, happy holidays, happy holidays. And even if you don't get everything on your wish list, I still hope you have a Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Blessed Kwanzaa. And appreciate everyone sitting beside ya. Happy holidays, happy holidays, happy holidays, Happy holidays.